That's a great phrase.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our second Touch in Eternity podcast. So, here we are for week 2, and as you see, we're growing a little bit more and more each week. We'll try to bring you some new artifacts and some magic windows, as you see. My lovely guest here, Miss Alicia, Nicole, and I am your host, Sid Patrick. We are the hostesses with the mostesses. So,
good evening on this rainy Thursday.
Yeah, no, Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday. That's how tired and off I am.
I know.
Week, so
yeah, we both had to work all day. In fact, we both just really got off. Like, we dashed into the studio and hurry up and set everything up so that we can get on with tonight's talk, and it's going to be about grief. And so we already got some people into the room, so that's really, really cool. So let's see here. Let me go ahead and take down so we can see you guys even better. I am going to take it down and just give you us naturally. So there we are. Got you in the natural. So welcome to Touch in Eternity, the podcast. And tonight we're going to continue on with our talk about grief. And we're doing this because this Saturday we're going to have the class Breakfast with Sid, which, like I was mentioning last week, is a class about grief. And there's a reason. I had a couple of people asking me, let me put that up there for you guys. I had a couple people asking me, why is it at 9 in the morning? Like, why in the morning? Why wasn't it lunch with Sid or afternoon cocktails with Sid and all that? And it's because grief is all about making changes in your life, and nobody wants to be up at 9 a.m. if they don't have to be. Us included.
Yeah. Not a morning person.
So I said, if people want to truly make change, the most effective way, this class could be is if I could get people to come to it early. And so that's why I wanted to have Breakfast with Sid, because those people who attend this class, it tells me that they are really, truly looking to make some changes in their life. And so Breakfast with Sid is going to be 9 a.m. this Saturday, September 7th, at my home. You can find tickets in the location of my home on my website, sid-patrick.com, and I'll give you the address. It's on Alabama Avenue in Kenner. So if you can come out to the Kenner area, that is where the event is going to be held. We only have 15 seats. I think we have 10 now, sold. I'm not sure how many tickets are left. It's maximum 15 people. As the group grows, we will, it will move to different locations and different spots. But the first one's going to be at my home, and it's just a get-together for coffee and donuts and maybe some mimosas. I don't know. I have to see about that.
I like that, what you're saying about breakfast and making change to what we had talked about last time of starting new experiences and doing different things. There's something really nice that I like in my quiet morning time. Communing with my spirit guides. I'm always strongest and best in the morning. Mm-hmm. And there's something nice too about being able to connect with people that you've passed during that time, because I love just sitting and having a cup of coffee with someone, because there's almost something sacred and ritualistic about that.
Well, because coffee for me is a ritual in the morning.
Well, we're New Orleanians too, so we know our good coffee.
So again, that's why I'm having it in the morning, because I want people to be open to change, and that's really, really important. And if during the series you have any questions, about grief, or if you have any questions about the event, please feel free to type in a comment, and I'll be glad, to answer them for you. That's what we're here for, is to help with those. And I'm going to tell you a little story. It took me into my journey of grief and what made me move into this place of change. And so people know that, a lot of people who know me have heard this story, or if you've watched me do, if you've read any articles about me, or If you've read the book Seance Experiments, you may have heard this, but I really didn't move into mediumship. I've always been I've always read cards, and I've always been very psychic, but I didn't move into the mediumship part of my life until after my mother's death. I went on this journey into finding, is there truly life after death? Because I wanted to know. I was determined to find out, is there truly life after death? And I learned in this journey that spirituality is very personal for everyone. And it really wasn't until probably, so my mom died in 1988, and I don't think that I really understood a lot of it until probably around 2010 is when it finally dawned on me, like what was the purpose of the journey and what it really meant to me. So it takes a long time. It's grief is an astounding thing. I mean, it can really hold you back.
It can really change your life so much. One of my friends, a very, very insightful, interesting woman, her father passed away maybe 8 or 9 years ago, and she's put her life on pause. And she's been doing a lot of things to honor him. She goes to a lot of national parks, and that was something that they did together. And so he's able to experience that with her. But she and I were talking about the other day, hey, it's time for you to live your life too now. And the only thing that can be harder, in my opinion, of losing a parent is losing a child, which I can't, I couldn't even fathom. I don't have children, but I'm very weirdly close with my parents. We talk at least once a day.
Right.
So it sounds probably like that was the relationship you had with your mom.
Oh, yeah.
Where when my mom passes, it's going to be weird because I know what's going to happen too is that she's going to still be giving her 2 cents on everything in my life, and I'm not looking forward to that aspect at all.
And again, everybody's going to experience grief differently, so it's really, this class is truly about understanding what type of grief you're experiencing and being able to recognize it and being able to make changes you need in your life so that you can understand what you need to be doing in your life to make it for you its fullest, because what's fullest to me might not be fullest to you. So for me, what might be fullest is going to be definitely different than someone else because I live a different lifestyle, and so it just depends. And so that's what this class is about, is identifying what's important to you. People say, well, I just want my family back. But again, what is family? Family might not just be mom and dad or your child or another child. Family might be your spouse or your loved one is considered your family. When you lose one child, you might have yet another child who's now also suffering, because not only are you grieving your lost child, but now you're not paying the attention or giving the love to the child that needs it too, because they've also lost a sibling and you. They've lost two. They're grieving two people.
That's a really good point.
They've lost you and they've lost a sibling. And so they're even more lost than the parent in some cases. So each case is different. And so that's one of the things that we're going to look at, in this class and in this group. And we're going to have those crucial conversations with each other. So I truly recommend that if you're having, hey, Mary, I truly recommend that if you're having some issues with grief, that you attend and become a part of a really cool group, because we're going to do fun things. It's also going to be about getting you back out there and getting you, accustomed to getting back into life again, because I have a lot of friends who totally have changed their lives after losing a loved one and have not been able to get back into life again, and it's totally just taken them out. And like I said, after I lost my mother, I went on a complete spiritual journey, and now, I can see the difference from, like, I've lost my mother, I lost a few people in between, but then last year I lost my father, and it was a totally different experience. And doesn't mean I love my father any different or any, because it was different because my father versus my mother, but I mean the pain was completely different. It wasn't any pain. It was actually almost like an understanding, or or just knowing, hey dad, I'm going to see you again. And it was more of a blessing and a thankfulness that that I started cherishing the moments I was able to spend with him, and being grateful that he was my father, and that yes, I'm going to miss you, but I know I'm going to see you again, so I'm okay with that, because I would rather you be healthy and free of the body and the pain you were experiencing in this lifetime in your end of life terms. I'd rather you be where you can be your old self again, and yet I can still communicate with you, versus not having your mind because he had dementia real bad, and not being yourself that you were. So for me, it was almost a blessing when he passed, and then I was fortunate enough to be able to go to live seance and have him communicate with my sister again, which was another beautiful blessing. So he was able to speak to her and give her some guidance and some love post his passing. So again, there's lots of things that you can move on with. So I want to express to people that your journey in this life, in your happiness, truly depends on the opportunities you allow yourself to experience. And no one's going to think ill or bad of you because you want to move on with your life or make changes in your life. So, because your loved ones, if you really truly understand that what I've learned through spirituality, if you truly understand where your loved ones are now and how they feel through you and express through you, you don't want them to feel that grief. You want them to feel joy. You want them to feel your well-being. You want them to feel, you want them to feel your peace. You want them to feel that serenity within inside of you. You want them to feel the love is what you want them to feel.
So, you bring up an interesting point too, and I went to forensic astrology. So, do you do that also?
So I actually had. So it was really beautiful.
Talk about what forensic astrology is real quick. I learned about it recently. And
I had a friend, and she actually invented it. Was called astrological mediumship.
Okay.
So she did something called that, and so I had my mother's and my chart done. So what they do in astrological mediumship, and her name is, I'll give her some credit. Her name was Tara Faulkner. She was was an astrologer. I don't know where she's at these days. She moved on. She came to MRC when we first opened, and she took my mother's death chart and crossed it with my birth chart. Okay. And when you cross them, it shows the purpose that we had in life together, and it really spelled out what our lives were together. Like it. My mom showed why she died and why she died for me. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I can't knock on this because it echoes through the mic. Oops, sorry guys. But anyway, so it was a beautiful transition. So it helped me understand my mom's purpose with me in this lifetime.
And I think there's some people that
I don't know if that's what forensic astrology does.
Yeah, that is.
But so Tara's the one who invented it many, many years ago. So Tara was the original inventor of that.
I learned about it recently, and I found it to be incredibly interesting because a lot of people, there's so many skeptical people out there, and to see something that is more concrete, this is when this person died, this is how things looked, and were aligned, to look and then see a reasoning within that can provide a lot more sense of healing too. Okay, I understand it now. This is the purpose. This is what I'm supposed to learn, and now we can move on again.
Yeah. So Tara's she's got her PhD, and she was the inventor of that. God, it was over 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's been around for a while, and but she called it astrological mediumship, and she does that, but she also did a lot of all types of different types of astrology charts. Like I learned through Tara too that my astrological chart is identical to Madame Blavatsky. So I don't know if you know who that is, but she is the founder of metaphysics.
Okay.
And so also learned through that that she also married a Norwegian much younger than her.
Okay, so do you think?
And I learned and I didn't. I was already married to Magni when I met her, and so it's really weird that my chart and her chart are identical, and that Magni and I are married, and that's really weird.
That is really weird because I was gonna say.
And then she did my astrological DNA, so we took my DNA, so you can do that too.
Okay.
And so she did my DNA, and guess where my DNA comes from? The town where she was.
Of course, yeah.
So
there are no coincidences.
Right.
Though.
So it's really kind of very weird, but yes. So I had all that done. And I still saved all. It's all in my computer. I still saved all that, all the work that she did.
I love that.
And so apparently I was supposed to meet Magni.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to marry this Norwegian much younger than me, and it's all written in the stars. So yes, there are some very cool things.
Questions, many
questions.
Yes.
Hey Chuck and Tina. And so that was a really cool thing, and that also helped me with understanding my mother's passing.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me understand her purpose and my purpose. It also just helped me understand the bond that her and I had.
I think mothers, though, coming from a woman's perspective, I mean, she carried you. You were part of her body for a while, so there's always going to be that, I think, that deeper connection with mothers and their children, because I've seen some of my friends, they've had kids recently, that's a sacrifice.
Well, I've also and I didn't do my father's death yet. I haven't done his death yet because I don't know where Tara is, and she was the one who did that. But I do have an astrologer who's pretty good at from the center, and I might. I don't own the center anymore, but I may contact her to see if she wants to do my father's death chart and cross it with my birth chart and see, because my father's an Aquarian, and so my father and my relationship is very much Aquarian Leo based.
Yeah, because Aquarians are weird.
Oh yeah, when it comes to their children, yes.
Mm-hmm. I have an Aquarian father.
Yes, so yes.
Yeah.
So that's, it's they love their kids but differently.
It's hard for them to talk about feelings, and their brain just thinks differently.
It
too,
does.
Is the other thing, and that kind of yes, yeah. So you've got the astrology portion working into it, and then also the male-female dynamic where men just communicate weird.
So again, there's all kinds of resources out there to help with grief. And there's all, and I'm here. If anybody, if you're having a hard time with grief, also know that if you can't come to the class on Saturday, and I'm going to be doing some mini readings as well on Saturday. You can also, thank you, Sean. If you can't come to the class on Saturday, that's fine. I also do 30-minute free consultations. And I do not do any readings during that time. But if you are having a hard time with grief, you can always call the number that you can get off my website, sid-patrick.com, and you can book a consultation with me. They're 30 minutes long, and they are free. I offer that to the public as a give back to help people who are suffering or who just need guidance. I do all kinds of consultation sessions. Actually, about 2 weeks ago, I had a demon in my kitchen, right?
Yeah, you did tell me about that.
Yeah, I had a demon in my kitchen. I meet all kinds, folks, and I help people try to help become their best versions. And, I try to help people. Like, he wanted to get rid of it, and he came to see me. I was going to help him get rid of it, but then he didn't want to get rid of it, so I'm like, I can't help you.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to get rid of it.
He got attached to it.
Yeah, he got attached to his demon.
That's
another episode.
That's another series of podcasts.
Another podcast.
Yes.
That's a whole nother podcast. Yes.
Yes, and I need to start writing down.
Yes,
Debbie. Things.
Debbie, you coming on Saturday? Great. Yes. So Saturday's going to be a great class. It's going to be a great class, and we're going to form this group. And like I said, we plan to do things because the grief class is not just about learning about grief, but it's also about meeting friends and meeting people so we can do stuff together. Like I'm talking about lunches, drinks at what's that place on Lake Avenue at the end with the good steaks?
Desi Vegas.
Desi Vegas and
Yes.
having drinks with
I'm there
with Alicia.
often. I'm
Yeah,
there
no.
You know,
with Alicia
you
on
see,
the
and Chris, the really sweet
Chris,
bartender there. Yes, yeah.
so
We're giving
you
them.
know, or maybe we can go on a little weekend cruise together, or go to a movies together, or you know, we can do some outings together. I mean, it's about creating a group to help people get moving again, to help them getting out again. And if you are having a bad time, giving you some friends to call. In fact, one of the people that's coming to class gave me a call. Actually, gave me a call this weekend, and she was going to her first concert since her husband passed away by herself. And I said, well, if you'd called me, you wouldn't have had to go by yourself. I'd have got a ticket. I would have went. But she went by herself, and she had a glass of. She was going to have a glass of wine, but I don't think she had a glass of wine. But just for her to get out the house and go to the concert was a big change for her. And I was so proud of her, you know, because she since he passed, she has not done anything for herself. And so that's what this is about. And I, you know, and so we're going to talk about all this on Saturday, and we're going to start a support group, and we're going to talk about how to help people get through that grief. I'm going to teach people how to talk to their loved ones in spirit. So you don't have to keep coming to a medium. I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to connect to your loved ones. I'm going to teach you how to have happy thoughts, how to get past the pain.
One of the stories that you shared once with me that I thought was really moving, and it helped me understand things, because unfortunately we know we don't live in the friendliest, safest city in America, and I know a lot of people that have experienced the passing of loved ones quickly and violently, and you shared stories of how guardian angels come and take
Oh yeah.
the souls out of their bodies before they
Oh,
experience.
oh,
And that
definitely.
was just so moving to hear that, and I think that that's something
Well, we learn a lot about
too
that in
that's
seance. So when you know, I'm a guy who, like, I travel the world to go to seances. Like, I travel all over. I go to the Netherlands. I've been to England. I've been to the Beacon Brecons, and that's in Scotland. And I've been all over to go to live seance. They come here, and I've been to them in other states. So I go to live seance so that I can sit and commune with spirit, and so that I can actually have conversations with spirit, and being able to see the wonderful, wonderful work of the spirit world. And I know a lot of physical mediums. I know a lot of people that deal with physical phenomena. And we have, and again, Touching Eternity is about that. So, and that's why I have the Touching Eternity conference every year, where I have a physical medium. And last year we had a scientist who came and was able to bring people their loved ones where they could actually see them in the smoke, and see them again from the other side. And
Now,
actually,
how did they look?
oh, you haven't seen them online?
No, I haven't
You
seen
need to
them
follow
online,
me on
but
Facebook.
like
They're all
I
over,
do follow you on Facebook, but
because she posted them.
I ask that because when we see, like, when we picture our grandma, for instance, you know, grandma died and she's 87, 88 years old, and you picture grandma being older, but when you see her in spirit, is she young again? Is she
Sometimes, so
okay?
so actually, you actually, in some of the photos, you can actually see them age. You can see them go from younger, and you'll see them young, and then they'll grow older, older, older while you're looking at them.
Oh wow.
So you can actually get them. You can see their ages change sometimes. So that's really, really cool. If you follow, her name is Sonia Rinaldi.
Okay.
So she's able to, and she works a lot with people who've lost their children. So they get to see their children again, and they get to, and she's even able to bring voice through sometimes, where you'll actually get to hear them speak. So I can't wait till the day we can bring those two together. That's gonna be phenomenal. Because then,
Yes.
you know, that's gonna be phenomenal. She's a scientist from Brazil, and then we have, you know, Scott Milligan, who does trance and does live seance, and he's phenomenal.
Okay, I've heard you mention.
Yes,
his
so
name.
yes, he's absolutely phenomenal as far as physical mediumship goes. He's one of the best in the world right now. There's a few. He's one of the best. Actually, probably the one that, of all the ones that I've seen, he is probably hands down the most legit and the best. Again, you know, I bring him. I had Sonya last year. Next year we're gonna have a psychic artist. We're gonna have Scott, Dominic, myself at the Touch and Attorney. We have a couple other surprises coming. So
Nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a few people at the well, it's gonna be in Orlando next year. But anyway, so let's see. We got some questions. Can you read that?
Yes. Sean has restored a home. It was haunted with two demons. That's okay. Next, we're going to
So,
parking lot that one
okay,
and
well,
talk about
Sean,
that.
real quick, make you. There are ways to you can get rid of that. We will do a podcast on that one, Sean. You can write me personally or book a consultation. I can talk to you about how, if you haven't moved, how to get rid of that. And Debbie, the picture on my profile. And so, Debbie, if you come in Saturday, great. If you want to talk and you can't make it, so you want to have a consultation, I'll be glad to talk to you to help you with that. If you would like to chat about that, we can. And Tina, I have an open. I can't see.
She has an open kitchen, living room, condo, can seat 8, living room,
Okay.
5, extra chairs.
Okay.
Thank you, Tina. That's
Okay,
kind
great.
of you.
That's kind of
Thank you.
yeah. We can do that possibly, Tina. Yes, if that sounds great. So again, this is the first one we do. We're going to do it once a month. We're going to get together and do something once a month. It can be at someone's home. It can be if it gets too big, I'm going to probably start doing them at Unity Church. If it gets really big, like if we have like 20 plus people, I'll probably start doing it at Unity. And from there, we can go out from there, maybe have an event, like maybe go to lunch or go do something around the city, maybe go take a riverboat cruise or something like that.
Cruise Park too.
Yeah.
Something. City Park, because I keep hearing about. I'm not a gardener by any means.
Me either.
No, but like
and I don't do it in the summer.
Oh no, especially our park. I mean, we don't have scorpions, but I mean, if there were scorpions, I would find one. But something about maybe getting in the ground. I don't know. It might be.
But you know, the city park does have the chime tree.
Okay.
So it's a great
maybe
meditation
something to give.
All right, and I can also have connections with some good sound healers that can maybe come in and do some bowls for us or do something like that to help people. So there's lots of things we can look at. Okay, so again, this class is going to be Saturday. Hoping a lot of you can join us. Like I said, I know we have a couple tickets left. I know we have at least 4 tickets left. I think we did sell some since last week. I think there's still maybe a couple left. So please go to my website and look for those. If you can't make it Saturday, you can always book a free consultation for 30 minutes with me. I do not read during those consultations, but I will give you guidance. I will talk to you about your loss. I will help you with restructuring and helping you get on the path. But this group I'm creating is that it's for a group of people to help. I'm trying to help them learn to connect on their own. I'm going to do some mini connections for them. And it's all about making changes in your life.
Journaling.
Yeah.
So would you speak to the importance of that?
It depends. Like, I'm not a big journaler. Some people are. Okay. It just depends. I'm very active mentally.
Yes.
So
we all
yes.
know that.
Yeah. I'm a 360 thinker. So it just depends. But journaling's really good.
I say that because it's helped me in my journey to write down the times when I'm starting to feel spirits come through stronger and what am I doing and what's happening. And I could see perhaps for people going through grief, a personal grief journal in a way of helping them develop. Hey, I notice I connect with.
The only thing that I would say is if they can keep. So here's the only thing about that. It's if they can do it and they can. I believe in that as long as it stays positive. But some people, when they get depressed, will use it to go back to and get more depressed.
Okay.
See, it's you know what I mean?
So start out by writing a happy memory.
It always has to be happy memories.
Yes.
If you're going to journal, it has to be happy memories. Because I find that when people write stuff down, if they're not in the most happiest place, they will then use that as a tool
to go back to that.
To go back to being unhappy again. And so I've seen that. And so like I said, as long as they stick to the grounds that everything I post there is a happy memory about my loved one.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's to bring me joy. The minute it stops bringing me joy is the day I burn it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to have that commitment to yourself.
City Park with a lot
Yes,
of
Barbara,
trees.
you will see me in Tulsa. I signed up and I'm going to be in Tulsa. November 2nd and 3rd, I'll be in Tulsa. So we'll have some fun in Tulsa. So, yes, so Tulsa's, I've been doing fairs in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so it's been a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with Barbara and her partner. We were there a couple weeks ago. It was a lot of fun. So, guys, again, grief is a horrible thing, and it can totally tear your body apart. It can totally separate you from your family. You sometimes don't realize how it hurts the people around you because sometimes are so deep into it that you don't totally understand how it's affecting the people around you, especially if you have children. I once had a person, and I don't want to name names, but I'm going to just name instances that lost a child, and then the other children were totally neglected, totally did not feel a connection with this parent for a long time. And a lot of animosity became between the other kids and the one that passed. Almost a hatred because they lost their parent.
Yeah.
And so.
And that sibling they had known their entire life.
Exactly.
That was all they knew. But, same with the parent. But.
And so so again, we're going to talk about these things, and we're going to talk about the importance of bringing positivity into your life, the importance of letting go of negativity, the importance of understanding when people come at you negatively and not being offended by it. I got people that come at me negatively all the time.
Well,
I got
it's because you work in a hospital.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But are you going to talk about energy protection and your own energy protection?
Yes, and we're going to talk about how to protect your energy, how to respect the energy around you. We're going to talk about how negative energy can make you ill, and how being depressed can cause you cancer, and how it can cause you stomach illness, how it can cause you nervous reactions. Okay, so I can do that now. So this program is soon going to be also on. So this program is, even though it's on Facebook Live, so to watch this program, they have to follow me on Facebook. But it's also going to be posted live on YouTube under Touching Eternity Podcast or under Touching Eternity. So by next week, this podcast will be on YouTube. So they'll be able to find all these podcasts on YouTube, and there'll be a collection of them. So they can start following them on YouTube. Like I said, the first couple, we've been practicing and making sure that we can record them. And the first one we did, the sound wasn't matching with the video when we were streaming. So now we're recording. So that's why these first couple, this one you will see on YouTube, but the first one you might not see because it wasn't lining up. So now that we're fine tuning it and making sure that everything is lining up and going right, you will be seeing these you can find them all on YouTube under Touching Eternity. And actually, once we get the system completely set up, by the next day, they should all be, by tomorrow, this one should be on YouTube. So everything that you see here can also be found on YouTube. It's going to also, pieces of this will be played on TikTok and will also be on Instagram. So we're going to be all over the place. And eventually, if we get enough followers, you're going to see us on Spotify and other arenas. So
what would you say, speaking of healing, protecting energy, something that the people can do now at home? Say tonight something to help them heal with their grief that would be good for them and self-caring.
Make a promise to themselves they can keep. That's step one.
Start simple. Yeah.
Start simple. Yeah, make a promise to yourself that you can keep. I'm going to get up at a half hour early tomorrow, and while I'm in the shower, I'm going to say a prayer for my loved one that I miss. And I'm going to wish them a blessed day and ask that they walk along with me, seeing that I stay happy today.
I like that.
That's
Yeah. And that's a really good point. Something that you can keep
Mm-hmm.
and something that you can implement.
Yeah. I mean, people, but we don't realize that we are responsible for our own happiness. Hey, Chris, we are definitely responsible for our own happiness. If we are not happy, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. Because if it's a situation, we need to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't blame it on somebody else if we choose to stay in it. I mean, bottom line, I mean, we create our own happiness. Happiness is love and happiness. You learn it. And if you were never taught it, it's harder for you to learn it. You have to go back and, for me, I had to go back and relearn my childhood. I had to go back and relearn my family and what I learned from them, and how did they show love and could they show love, and I had to go back and relearn those things.
Understanding the capacity.
Right, and understanding what were they capable of, and not be mad at them if they didn't do it, because who were their teachers? My grandparents. And I had to look at what they did.
And that's a hard generation.
Yeah, and so you really got to start looking at that, and then you have to start taking responsibility for you, and you have to go back and say, okay, what can I do different? How can I break the chain? How can I truly come from a place of love? And how can I not let other people get me upset?
Something too that I always like to do when I'm having a crappy day and you start to get that negative energy, do something different for somebody else that you wouldn't normally do, maybe to make them
Absolutely.
feel good, because it's always easier to smile.
Yeah. I always
Muscle
do
wise,
stuff.
even.
Yes.
Yeah, but even just like
I
something
always
like
do
you
that.
see,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see the older lady sitting at Starbucks. I really like your shirt today. That's a pretty color on you. Just something little like that,
Oh
even.
yeah.
And again,
Compliments are easy.
with starting small, I think can sometimes be.
Oh, you got a friend?
Yeah, Cindy.
Yes.
Cindy needs to come on the show sometime.
Okay.
Too. You would love Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
So I mean, it's up to you. I mean, if you're not happy or you're depressed, only you can pull yourself out of it. I'm only going to give you some keys and some tools. If you don't use them, then it's useless. And if you choose, because some of us choose to live in misery. I know people who truly choose to be miserable because sometimes they think that's what's going to get them attention.
Yeah.
I know people like that.
Oh yeah.
And it's really sad. Because it's so much easier to be happy.
Exactly.
It's so much easier to be happy.
It is.
And I was one of those people. I come from family who was like that. I had to choose to be happy. And you have to choose it, and you have to want to be it, and you have to let go of stuff.
And when you are able to identify that in those people that choose to be unhappy,
because it's easy.
Oh, it is easy, and it's very
easy.
easy to fall into that pattern. But one of the things I've noticed too with those people that are unhappy, they almost have a different coloring or just a constant aura around them. That the energy is hard. The energy makes me tired. It weighs me down.
A lot of them, it's because they've learned that. They've learned that, and they have to understand they've learned that from somewhere. You'll learn when you're born into this world, and that's what I wanted to say. That's very good, Sean. That's very good. Because you have to. And that's what you're supposed to do. It's exactly what you're supposed to do.
And that's what she would want too.
Yes. Because they feel through you. Your love, their spirits, their energy, their spirits feel through you. And so they want you to be happy. They want you to feel passion. They want you to feel love. They want you to feel that tingly, that glow. They want you to have that energy with you. And if you grew up in that environment where you're just always negative and always down and always into fear and hate and all this, and I'm going to show y'all this graph in the class that I taught in Touch and Eternity last year, and it's amazing how many people follow this graph, and it's amazing. But I mean, those who come to the class will say, I don't want to tell everything, but when I showed this to the class, everybody's mouth dropped like, oh, because they couldn't believe it, because it's so true. But it's you need to let go of pain. You need to let go of fear. Once you do that, life becomes so much easier. and it
You see
becomes
things that
right.
you don't,
Right.
and you start to be able to allow amazing
Opportunity
opportunities
stuff to
to
open
start
up,
to come in then at that point too.
and
Yes.
you can manifest so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
You will be able to manifest things so much easier. And I have a friend, and those who come to class will get to meet her. She just beat stage 4 cancer, and those who come to the class will get to meet her because she's also one of my the people that helps me with a lot of the things that I do. And she's picking up the donuts and bringing an extra Keurig. But
Love her.
yes, so she you know she just beat stage 4 cancer. I mean, to the point where she literally had tumors all in her body, following the happy plan that I've given her, and doing what she's supposed to do and letting go of things. When they rescanned her body, all the tumors went away. They disappeared. When she was able to let go of the stress and stuff. And I can't say that's, you need to follow regular medicine, but you also need to do the holistic side plus the medical side. And
It doesn't hurt.
no,
It doesn't hurt to do all of
it
it.
doesn't. I gave her another formula to do that also combated some of the cancer. She's going to share this story with
She's
everybody.
amazing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and now she's also had to have some surgeries post all of this because of the first operations that they did, the mastectomies and all. So she had some touch-up things done. And at first they thought it was going to get all this infection, but she listened to me again, and it's all gone. It's all gone. She's healing super fast.
She is.
She's healing quick. She's already off the wound vax and everything. She's healing so quick. They doing the second surgery a month sooner than they were supposed to because she's healed so fast, because her body is now ramping up its ability to heal because she's healed herself spiritually.
Yes, that's a really good point, and I would love to talk about that on a later show too. Is our body's ability to heal ourselves, and that we do have that ability.
We do.
Pretty amazing.
I got the perfect one because my work wife got her finger bit off by a horse and it grew back, and I got the video and the proof. Her finger grew back, nail and all. They wanted to flap it. The doctors told her she was crazy. Doctors at my hospital tell me she's lying. She ain't lying. I saw it. I was there. Her finger within 4 months grew completely back, nail and all.
Mm-hmm. And so if you can do that from a physical standpoint, then the ability to do that from an emotional and what's the term I'm looking for? Spiritual point.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and that's why I'm telling people that you have got to let go of this grief, because you're only harming yourself. And again, you have to go through it. I know that. But if you're grieving longer than a year, that's when you have to start really pushing harder to recoup. Once you've been through at least, and for those who go longer than a year, I say once you've gone through the major holidays at least once.
The seasonal changes.
Yes, and the seasonal changes once, and then all the holidays once. So it might be a little longer, depending upon your loved one passed. Then you need to really try harder to start pushing away from it a little bit, and be conscious of it. Be conscious of the grief. If you see yourself falling, be conscious of it. This is grief. I need to be conscious of it.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe start making that change to do something positive. Hey, this is the tradition that we used to do together around this holiday, so let's make that.
So I had one of my clients in Texas, when I was living in Texas. Her brother was murdered by his ex-girlfriend and his future girlfriend. They were both murdered, along with the kids were okay. She tried to murder one of the kids, but they didn't succeed. But she killed him and her. Anyway, so the sister got the 2 kids. After the brother was murdered, and his girlfriend, when the ex killed them both. What she would do, he was a jokester. So what she would do for the kids, because they would get depressed around the holidays, because he was a joke, she'd buy them jokes and put it from him.
Yeah.
So she would do that just to make them laugh and to think of him, to reminisce, and they loved it. I mean, so it's just trying to keep that memory and try to
Find new ways to honor that
find
person.
ways to honor that person, but also make yourself feel good about it, to laugh, to learn to love. Learn to love. When you're born in this world, you're born with that clean slate, and we're gonna talk more about that at a later time. And so you're not born with depression. You're not born with anger. You're not born with hate. You're not born with it. You might have a chemical imbalance. Some people are born with chemical imbalances and stuff, but technically, you're not born with any of those negative things. But through life you're conditioned by the environment around you, and that could be people, could be environment, could be a lot of things. Could be your economic factors. If you can be born, if you're born in a poor country with with not learning anything and just not but fear and all that around you, that's what you're going to grow up like. Okay, so it just depends. But you're not born that way. You're taught those things. You're conditioned with those things, and so it's time we have to realize it's time to recondition ourselves. And it started many years ago, and we went from mourning death to celebrating deaths at funerals, and that's why we have to start looking at it in a more positive way, and that way we can help people with getting through this transition. So, oh Lord, we've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
No, mostly doing 30 minutes. It's been 45. But anyway, that's okay because we love you guys. So, do you guys have any questions for us while we're on? Because we're gonna sign off in a little bit. Do you have anything you want to say to everybody? Because I've just been rattling.
You always have great stories, and I think we've kind of hit a lot of the key points of being willing to implement change in your life.
Yes.
is so important, and the point you made of starting small.
Hey, CJ. Yes. Yes, CJ, your wife's coming on Saturday. That's going to be very good for her. So we're going to talk a lot about initiating change and putting together a support group. And this class Saturday, along with some mini reads, is to help people understand grief. I got a new chalkboard, so I'm going to write down some things.
Fancy.
Oh, it's a big old chalkboard too. And I've got some video, not video, got PowerPoint, pieces of a PowerPoint that I'm going to present. I'm going to do some mini readings. So it's going to be a very good class. So I do recommend people to come to the class on Saturday if you suffer with any kind of grief. And grief doesn't have to be because you've lost somebody, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Grief could be if you're separate, if you're in a relationship that you broke up with someone, that creates a grief. If you've lost a limb, or you've lost a friend that maybe moved away, or you recently lost a job, all those things cause grief. Okay? So any of those reasons might be a reason to come. Hey, Daphne.
And I love that you bring that up, because people shouldn't feel that they have to be at such a point of desperation where I love that society is recognizing the importance of mental health more and more.
Yes.
And there is a lot of strength in recognizing, hey, I went through something terrible. It may not have been the loss of a parent, but I know I'm starting to head down a road I don't want to. So what can I do to make a positive turnaround?
Absolutely. Some people, somebody might have a friend that moved away or went away to college. You're going to go through grief.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might have a child that went away to college or moved away from college. Empty nest. That causes grief.
Change in patterns a lot too.
That causes grief.
Yes.
Somebody might have kids that got married and moved out of the house, and it's just them and their husband left at home. That causes grief because you got to deal with the husband or the wife.
Yeah. Yes.
That causes grief.
Yes.
So there's more. It's not just death that causes grief. And so those are the things you need to understand. And grief is about any type of loss. Any type of loss. Like I told y'all last week, even just the loss of car keys can cause grief.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Barbara, I would recommend if you're free Saturday morning at 9 a.m. that you come on over to my house, because we're going to talk a lot about grief, and we're going to do a support group. And it's going to be a very informative. We're going to help people get back into the swing of things. I'm also going to teach them how to connect. Again, this will be our last talk on grief on the podcast. Well, we probably will touch back periodically, but each week is going to be a different topic. Each week we're going to talk about different things. And we want y'all to stay tuned. The topic of the name of the podcast is Touching Eternity, the podcast. We'll talk about everything spiritual. I do have so Touching Eternity, the podcast is the podcast. We have Touching Eternity, the event, which is we have it once a year. Next year it's in Orlando. 2025 in June 4th to June 8th. There will be a physical medium there, Mr. Scott Milligan. If you've never been to a seance and you want to experience and have real physical contact with the spirit world, I highly recommend you be there. Dominic Bogue, who is a wonderful mental medium, and along with this wonderful mental medium, Sid Patrick, I'll be there. We'll be teaching and demonstrating for you. We're trying to get Josephine McKenzie on board, who is a psychic artist who will be teaching people how to tap into their psychic awareness while they do artwork. So that's really cool. I didn't think I could draw, and then Josephine actually had me draw, and Sid don't draw. Sid don't even draw stick people.
You should see my drawings.
I know, but
I dream, so I have like the most amazing, incredible dreams. And I connect a lot through that, and sometimes I'll have to write them down and draw them down when I wake up, and I apologize. I apologize to anyone that has to witness it.
You need to you need to do the psychic art class, because I can't draw, but I drew.
I can't draw either.
Oh, but I drew. I don't draw, but I drew. She has you drawn, but because you go into almost a trance, and the things start popping out on that paper, and you're like, wow.
Are you using like colors, like what?
No, well, she can.
No pun intended, but what medium are you working with?
Well, different ones. Okay. So first she starts you off with like a pencil, then you go into like charcoal, and then she uses different because you're with her for a week, 4 days. So each time it's something different.
That was a metaphysical joke. It was a metaphysical dad joke.
I know.
Yes.
I know. What medium do you use? Well, I'm an extra large, so I don't know. But anyway, so
that might be a
that'd
fun
be great.
class
So
to
yes.
do too, then.
Well, I'm trying to get her to come and do one online, but we're also trying to get her hooked into Touching Eternity as well. Right now, it's just the matter of space, time, and that kind of stuff. So we're working on that aspect of it. Either way, she's going to be, if she's not there, she will be I will host her in a class. It'll be all online there because she's in Scotland.
Oh, so we got the accent as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she got the accent. Oh, yes, you got the accent. I love me some Josephine. Anyway, so, guys, Saturday, 9 a.m., my house. You can wear your pajamas. Come have some fun. We're going to talk about grief. We're going to do some connections. We're going to have some fun. We're going to create this grief group. Touching Eternity, the podcast, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. We try to do them live. If I'm going to be out of town, Alicia will take over, and I'll try to zoom in. If I can't zoom in, she'll take over, and we'll have her come in and talk about a topic. If she can't be here, I'll be on talking about a topic. But we will be there every Wednesday at 8 p.m. If we can't both be there, we will do a recording. We will put these on YouTube as well. About Touching Eternity, the event. I'm also in the making of a very good book called Touching Eternity, the book. So whenever you see Touching Eternity, it's going to be related to me and something that I'm involved in. So that's my new thing is Touching Eternity. So no more MRC. Now it's Touching Eternity. So if you see it, I'm involved in it. That's one way to learn if I'm involved in it or not. My website is sid-patrick.com. You can find everything posted there about events that are coming up. I do have an event coming up Friday, September 27th at 6:30 at La Cruz Mexican Restaurant on Airline. It's at Causeway and Airline. It's called Nacho Dead People. Don't you love that?
Any time that you can put
it's unlimited. It's unlimited nachos to eat and a margarita.
Yes, yep. anytime that you can combine spirituality, Mexican food, and marketing, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
So come see us at Nacho Dead People.
Yes.
And that's going to be a fun event.
Yes, it will.
So love you guys, and just follow us and come have some fun with us, and let's get you on the right spiritual path, guys. We also, if you want to email me, it's psychicsid@yahoo.com. If you want to have some topic you want us to talk about, send your suggestions to psychicsid@yahoo.com, and we will talk about anything spiritual. That's what we're here for. I did want to do the 2 topics on grief because of the class on Saturday. We will be talking soon about color, because I'm going to be teaching an aura photography class. So we're going to be talking about energetic connections, energies, and color probably in the next week. Is probably where we'll go. We'll talk about energetics and stuff and move on there. So love you guys. Keep your faith.
Do that something small that you can keep that promise for.
Yes.
Tonight or tomorrow morning, and stay positive and be that positive change.
Yes. We love you guys. So take care of yourself. And let's see if I can put up something fun for us before we go. Let's put up our intro again. There we go.
There we are.
And I feel like Miss Linda on Romper Room.
Okay, I was thinking it's like a round Brady Bunch.
Yeah. We love you guys. Welcome to Touching Eternity, the podcast. We love you. We'll see you again Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. See you then.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye.